Okay. So I will explain again in briefly. I will short. Whatever I have explained, I will give you a brief thing. See, in order to implement a project in a company, okay, or a consultant should have three primary roles. Okay, what are all that roles? That role is application implementation consultant. Number two,
IT security,
IT security
IT
manager. Third is employee role.
employee.
Employee role. Remember, please remember, very very important. For these are all you have to be you have to remember. Okay, don't forget this. These are all main concepts you have to remember. So to implement a project, consultant should have three primary roles. One is application implementation consultant, IT security manager, and third is employee role. So for the application implementation consultant role is they can do an implementation. They can do a setup. They can do a setup. Okay. What is setup? Suppose yesterday I told you no chart of accounts that to create a primary
Yes, sir.
ledger, courses and all. I told no, like that setup,
Yes,
that
sir.
kind of setup, creation of that forces in that how to create a calendar, currency, then that and all I explained. You know that setups
Yes,
and
sir.
all he will be doing. Who will be doing? Who will
Employee.
be functional consultant? See,
Functional consultant.
functional consultant will be doing that. Okay, you understand what I'm telling? Functional consultant will be doing this setup. For example, I am telling yesterday think calendar to create a primary ledger like that currency chart of accounts and all. No, that that thing, that setups he will do. Okay. Apart from this, a lot of setups are there. We will explain to you in the coming days. I don't want to make it a detailed thing about. It's a beginning thing, no. So I don't want to go into depth. Okay. In the later classes, you will be knowing. Okay. Simple example I gave yesterday. Okay. So he will do a implementation. See, in order to do that, he require an environment. Environment in the sense it is a tool, Oracle tool. So that tool is called functional setup manager. So in functional setup manager, he can configure or setup. Configure or setup. Okay. He can configure or setup. Okay, it is a tool used to configure or set up application across a project in Fusion. Okay, you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now it's clear, no? Now suppose for example Srikanth is a functional consultant. He will be having three roles: application implementation consultant, IT security manager,
IT security
and
manager,
employee. Okay.
employee.
Okay. Now that application implementer he has the full authorization or he has the full authorization to configure applications. Okay, yes, he can able to uh, uh, do setup across the applications in the project. Okay, that is okay.
Yes.
Now, next stage, I told IT security manager. IT security manager, that what is that? IT security manager role. In the IT security manager role, IT security manager role in that they can create a user. They can create a user. They can assign the roles to user and they can create custom roles also. I will explain to you. I will give you an example. Suppose Srikanth is now the functional consultant. Now he is doing an implementation. In the company, Sneha ma'am is the employee. Okay, he is in accounts payable department or he is in accounts department. His job is accounts payable. He is working in accounts payable department or accounts receivable department. So for her, Srikanth will create a user, okay, and assign is her job functions to that role. Okay, he will create a user and assign his job role to her. Okay, creating and assigning, creating a user, assigning the job role. Okay, simple. Don't get into complicated. You understand what I'm telling? Srikanth will now create a users like that. Sneha ma'am, Seturaman, sorry, many users will be there in the company. No, depending on their job roles, they create a users. Accordingly, that roles will be assigned, depending on the business functions and the business activities and all. According to the uh, um, according to the job they do, this roles will be assigned. Okay, you understand what I am telling? It's clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See, one example shall I tell you? Only one example. See,
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
uh, now Srikanth is a functional consultant. Okay, now he has a right to do setup. Now he will do primary ledger setup, like that, creation of calendar and all. Okay, he is doing. And what he will do after creation and all, they users has to test, no? Okay, he will do a testing, then he will give it to Sneha ma'am for a testing. Ma'am, you will do testing, and if any issues, you will let me know, like that. So what he will do, he will do a first he will do a testing, then he will give it to Sneha ma'am. Sneha ma'am will do a testing in the sense, the configuration is done or setup done, it's okay. She will put a entry like, is, suppose she is doing accounts receivable entry, like invoice creation and receipt entry, like that she will put. Okay, for that she needs user, she needs a user, and also authorization to create an invoice receipt. Okay, so what Srikanth will do, he will create a user. No,
Yes,
setup
sir.
he has already done. In order to test, or in order to make her to do activity, no, they he she has to do accounts receivable. In accounts receivable application, she has to create invoice and also receipt, he has to account it. So she has to account accordingly. What he will do, Srikanth will create a role for Sneha in IT, using the role IT security manager. Using his primary role, IT security manager, he create a user name called Sneha, and he will assign the role accounts payable, accounts receivable. In that he will give invoice and receipt creation. Okay, so he is doing that activity, no? That he will that Srikanth will assign the role. புரியுதா?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
ஜஸ்ட் புரியறதுக்காக தமிழ்லயும் சொல்லிடுறேன், ஒரே லைன்ல முடிச்சிடுறேன். ஆக்சுவலா தமிழ் யூஸ் பண்ணக்கூடாது, பட் ஒரு சின்ன இதுக்காக நான் சொல்லிடுறேன். இப்போ ஸ்ரீகாந்த் ஒரு கம்பெனி இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் போறாரு. ஓகே, ஓகேவா?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
சப்போஸ் ஸ்னேகா மேம், நீங்க ஒரு கம்பெனில ஒர்க் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. நீங்க அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் ரிசீவபிள் டிபார்ட்மெண்ட்ல இன்வாய்ஸ் கிரியேட் பண்றது, ரெசிப்ட் கஸ்டமர் கிட்ட இருந்து பணம் வருது, அது நீங்க ப்ரீவியஸா ஒரு அக்கௌண்டிங் அப்ளிகேஷன் ஏதோ ஒரு டேலியோ ஏதோ ஒன்னு யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கீங்க. உங்க கம்பெனி என்ன பண்றாங்க, இப்போ ஆரக்கிள் இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணலாம், ஓகே அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. அப்போ ஆரக்கிள் இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ணும்போது, அந்த இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்றதுக்கு ஃபங்க்ஷனல் கன்சல்டன்ட்ல பினான்சியல், எஸ்சிஎம், இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு 5 பேர் வராங்க கம்பெனிக்கு வந்து உங்களுடைய ஆக்டிவிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் ஒவ்வொருத்தர் கிட்ட கேட்கறாங்க. அதாவது உங்க மேனேஜர் கிட்ட நீங்க என்ன ப்ராசஸ் பண்றீங்க, என்னெல்லாம் எப்படிலாம் பண்றீங்க, ஆசிஸ் எக்ஸிஸ்டிங்கா என்னென்ன பண்றீங்க, அதெல்லாம் கேட்டு வாங்கிக்கிறாங்க. அக்கார்டிங்லி என்ன பண்றாங்க, ஒரு டாக்குமெண்ட் பண்ணிடுறாங்க. அப்புறம் என்ன பண்றாரு ஸ்ரீகாந்த், அவருடைய இத இந்த இந்த எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் ப்ராசஸ ஆரக்கிளுக்கு ஃபிட் ஆகுற மாதிரி மேப் பண்ண முடியுமா சொல்லி அவரு ஒரு டாக்குமெண்டேஷன் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணிடுறாரு. பண்ணிட்டு உங்க மேனேஜர் காமிக்கிறார், சார் திஸ் இஸ் ஓகே ஆர் நாட், this setup accordingly this is will be fit into this oracle, but some changes will happen. இப்போ எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் ப்ராசஸ்க்கும் இப்போதைக்கும் ஒரு ஸ்லைட் சேஞ்சஸ் இருக்கும், அதை நீங்க ஓகேவா? ஓகே, நீங்க பண்ணலாம், நீங்க எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் இது இல்ல கொஞ்சம் மாடிஃபை பண்ணி நீங்க பிசினஸ் ப்ராசஸ் அக்கார்டிங்லி நாங்களும் அதை மாத்திக்கிறோம் அப்படின்னு சொன்ன உடனே இவர் என்ன பண்றாரு இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் he will start because unless உங்க மேனேஜர் அப்ரூவல் கொடுக்காத ஸ்ரீகாந்த் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண மாட்டாரு இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் ப்ராசஸ். ஸோ ஆசிஸ் ப்ராசஸும் அப்புறம் இந்த டாக்குமெண்டேஷன் மேப்பிங் இது ரெண்டையும் இதான பிறகு ஃபைனலா ஒரு டாக்குமெண்ட் ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணி சைன் ஆஃப் பண்ணுவாங்க. உங்க மேனேஜர் சைன் ஆஃப் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஓகே இதுதான் இப்போ இம்ப்ளிமெண்ட் பண்ண போறோம், இது ஸ்டெப்ஸ் இதுன்னு ஒரு டாக்குமெண்டேஷன் மாதிரி வேர்ட்ல டைப் பண்ணுவாங்க. இட் வில் நாட் எனி டெக்னிக்கல் அதெல்லாம் இருக்காது, சும்மா ப்ராசஸ் இது அக்கௌண்ட் பேயபிள் இது ப்ராசஸ் இப்படி இது செட்டப்ஸ் இப்படி பண்ணணும் ஒரு ஃப்ளோ மாதிரி இருக்கும். அவரு ஸ்ரீகாந்த் அத ஒரு இது செட்டப்ஸ் மாதிரி சீக்வன்ஸா அதை டைப் பண்ணியிருப்பார், அதை காட்டிடுவார். ஆனா அவர் என்ன பண்ணுவாரு அதை பேஸ் பண்ணி இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் ஆரம்பிப்பார். இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் he will do a setup. ஓகேங்களா? he will do a setup. செட்டப் என்ன சொன்னேன் இல்லையா, கிரியேஷன் கேலண்டர் கிரியேட் பண்ணுவாரு, கரன்சி நீங்க கிரியேட் பண்ணுவாரு, ஜிஎல் ஃபார் கிரியேட்டிங் a GL பிரைமரி லெஜர் ஃபோர்த் இஸ் ரெக்கார்ட் அந்த இதெல்லாம் பண்ணுவாரு. அந்த ஆக்டிவிட்டி அவருக்கு ஏன்னா ஃபுல் ஆத்தரைசேஷன். பட் நீங்க அங்க ஒர்க் பண்றீங்க இல்லையா, நீங்க அங்க ஒர்க் அவர் என்ன பண்ணுவாரு அந்த செட்டப் பண்ணிட்டு என்ன பண்ணுவாரு, நீங்க ஒர்க் பண்ணணும் இல்லையா, நீங்க அங்க ஒர்க் பண்ணணும், அதுல ஒர்க் பண்ணணும், நீங்க அக்கௌண்ட்ஸ் ரிசீவபிள் ஒர்க் பண்ணணும். அப்ப என்ன பண்ணுவாரு, உங்களுக்கு ஒரு யூசர் கிரியேட் பண்ணி தருவார். ஓகே, he will create a user for you and assign the roles. he will assign the roles. assign the roles என்ன, நீங்க என்ன இப்போ எக்ஸிஸ்டிங் ஜாப் ஃபங்க்ஷன் பண்றீங்களோ அதை அப்படியே ரோலா இது பண்ணுவார். உங்களுடைய ரோல் என்ன, இப்போ நீங்க என்ன ஒர்க், வாட் யூ ஆர் டூயிங் existing, what you are doing, you are working in accounts receivable, you are creating an invoice and you are accounting a receipt from the customer. So that is called role. Okay, so accounts payable adu job detailed adula nariya irukku. Next class Sahana ma'am will be taking in a detail thing. Just ஒரு இதுக்காக நான் சொன்னேன். Okay, so functional security manager na என்னன்னு புரியுதா உங்களுக்கு? functional security manager is a tool wherein we can do a setup.
We can assign the
create a user.
Create a user.
Sorry. Create a user is IT security manager. Okay, IT security manager தான் he will create a user, assign roles. First application implementation consultant role they will create a user, that is Srikanth will have that user ID. Okay, in that 3 roles will be assigned. Srikanth பேர்ல 3 roles இருக்கும், application implementation consultant, IT security consultant, employee consultant. அந்த அவரு அந்த 3 ரோலை வச்சுக்கிட்டு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அவரு செட்டப்ஸ் பண்ணிடுவாரு. நெக்ஸ்ட் he will create a user. ஸ்னேகா மேமுக்கு யூசர் கிரியேட் பண்ணி ஸ்னேகா மேம ஒரு யூசரா கிரியேட் பண்ணி அவரு என்ன ஒர்க் பண்றாங்களோ அந்த ரோலை அவருக்கு அசைன் பண்ணுவார். புரியுதா? ஸோ ஃபங்க்ஷனல் செட்டப் மேனேஜர் புரியுது. இம்ப்ளிமெண்டேஷன் ஓகே. இன்னொரு எக்ஸாம்பிள், ஒன் எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஐ வில் கிவ் யூ. See, you are buying an AC. Okay, you are buying an AC for your house. Okay, for that you are buying an AC and once you buy the AC, will it start functioning?
No sir.
Will it start function?
No sir.
It won't start function. No, what do you do? Some technician needed. No, we have to install and some technician has to do that for installation. Similarly, install means setup. AC ஞாபகம் வச்சுங்க. நீங்க AC, if you buy an AC, what will do? Technician will come in 2 to 3 days to your house and he will do a installation. Okay, that is where, because technical person needed. Like that in for an application in Oracle to be implemented in your Oracle Fusion, to be implemented financials or SCM or anything to be implemented in your company, consultant to be needed, like AC technician needed, like the similarly. புரியுதா? So you will do a installation AC technician பண்றார் இல்லையா, அதே மாதிரி ஸ்ரீகாந்த் will do a installation, that is setup. Now அவர் ஏசி கன்சல்டன்ட் ஏசி மெக்கானிக், அதாவது டெக்னீஷியன் வந்துட்டு இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணிட்டு போனோன்னு என்ன பண்றீங்க? இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ணிட்டு போனோன்னு என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க நீங்க? What you will do after installation? you start using it, no? You start
Yes,
using
sir.
many people will start using, no, in your house. Okay, so many people will be start using that, no? So accordingly, once Srikanth has set up that settings, no, setups he has done configure or setup done in the application, then users will be allowed to do activity
Access.
users will be allowed to do transaction in the application. Okay, okay, that is
Okay, sir.
from where that authorization and all will be given in IT security manager. IT security manager role, in that we can create a user. So Srikanth will, using that role, he will create a user, assign the role to the user. Okay, okay. Now it's so clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now employee user is there. Another user is sorry, employee role. I told you, no, three roles he is having: application implementation consultant, number 2 IT security manager, number 3 employee role. Employee role where users will be given as an employee, self service. They can create their own report. For example, they can view the payroll, they can view the IT income tax related things, then self service portal. In that they can access. Okay, that is employee using that employee role. He will assign that to the users. Okay, employee role will be assigned to users as an employee to access the employee service. For example, companies, what they will do, they will process the payroll, and nowadays they are not sending the hard copy. They will not give hard copies in because in order to avoid the paperwork. So what they will do, they will send a soft copy. They through mail. Some companies they send it in mail. Some companies, what they will do, they will put it in the employee service portal where they can record the leave, they can see the pay slip and all. Okay, clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now next is Oracle Identity Manager. Oracle Identity Manager. See, I told you, no, I am correlating this. First of all, I told functional setup manager is, they will do, yeah, in this is a tool to
They will
configure
do the setup for the
application.
user.
Okay. Next step, what I will do, you first nalla gavaninga, you see that Oracle Identity Manager. Oracle Identity Manager is a tool used for user authentication, which includes validating user credential, creating new user, managing users, deleting users. You understand what is this? Okay, that is IT security manager. IT security manager, under that there is a tool called Oracle Identity Manager, wherein they can create a authentication, they can create a user ID and password. Okay, see, unless you give your credential by using, see, நீங்க பேங்கிங் இது போயிருக்கீங்களா? You are using banking transaction through net banking and all, you are using, no?
Yes, sir.
Railway ticket book பண்ணும்போது you will create IRTC, you user ID and password, no? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
User ID and password. See, suppose for example Facebook, you create a user ID and password wherein you enter, then only it will allow to like that only in Amazon, Flipkart and all, no? Some you in order to access that, first of all you have to create a user ID and password. Based on that credential you will be allowed to access. Correct, no? Is it correct? Flipkart la, Amazon la edavadhu porul, if you want to buy something through Flipkart online shopping, correct, no? See, it will
Yes,
validate
sir.
your credential. Like that, Oracle Identity Manager for user authentication, which includes validating user credential, creating new users, managing users, deleting users and all. Okay, managing deleting users means what? Deleting users means when they leave the company, that user role will be deleted, deleted. And managing users means sometimes, suppose Sneha ma'am working in accounts receivable, suppose he is shifted to accounts payable department, like that, in that what happens, she has to, that role has to be shifted to someone this accounts payable role to be given to assigned to Sneha. Okay, so that is managing users and all. Okay, now next is authorization policy manager. What is the authorization policy manager? Authorization policy manager is another related tool for user authorization, which deals with granting user access to particular areas. Now I will tell you. Sneha ma'am is given the user ID. Okay, user ID and all. Okay. For example, I will tell you in Facebook, when you enter into that application, what happens? You can access all the pages. Okay, correct? No, am I correct or not? Amazon, is there any
Yes.
restriction? This
No, sir,
link
there is no
only
restriction.
you can view all the pages. No, all the pages when you enter. No, you can buy something. You can choose the product, search anything. You can do that. Okay, but here in Oracle Fusion, you are not allowed to do like that. You will be restricted to use. You will be restricted to use certain pages. Like certain pages means certain functions. Okay, based on your job profile. Okay, see your job is account payable. Okay, for example, account receivable. Now account receivable, in that you can create an invoice. Okay, you can create you can reverse that invoice, or you can create a receipt. Like that they will be given. Okay, now you can't access account payable, because you will be given the only account receivable. Okay, account receivable role only will be assigned to you. You will not be able to access HR applications or even SEM inventory applications and all. You can't access. Okay, only you can have you can able to access account receivable. புரியுதுங்களா?
Okay, sir.
Yes,
புரியுதா
sir.
ஸ்னேகா மேம்?
Yes, sir.
புரியுதா? நான் என்ன சொல்ல வரேன்னு புரிஞ்சுதா? கிளியரா இருக்கா? டவுட் இல்லையே?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Right. Next, business web logic. I will come to the next. See, I will give you role based access control. Role based access control na enna? Role based, what it meant by role based access control is, see, I already told you, you will be given a role. Accordingly, you will be in that role. You will be given a functions to work. Okay, some restrictions to work. Then in that restriction, what happens? You can create view like that. Similarly, what they will do, they will create n number of roles, like account receivable, viewing, account receivable creation, account receivable, like that they will do account receivable underscore report, like that. Various type of roles they will create. Then that role will be given to, for example, Sneha ma'am will be using only invoice creation and receipt. That role will be assigned to Sneha ma'am. Suppose um, for example, I will tell you, account receivable manager is there. Account receivable manager. Okay, in accounts manager, for example, accounts manager role. Accounts manager role, he can have access to accounts payable and accounts receivable. So for them, they will create accounts receivable, accounts payable role, and they can view only invoices and receipts and payments. They can't create or edit. Okay, that is
Yes,
role-based consultant. What it means is user role permission. User role permission. Permission means create, edit, delete, view. Create, reverse and view, like that. Permissions within that. Okay, you can create, reverse, but I can't. Sethuraman, as a manager, I can't view. I can't create or reverse. I can only view. So for me, one role. Okay. So it is easy for, if we create this kind of roles, it is easy for us to assign that role. Suppose when Sneha ma'am is shifted to another department or another office or another branch, same different this role will be assigned to another person coming in that place. Easy for that to assign that role. That is why we are given we are creating a different role. Okay, so job, role, permission. So role based access control is role based access control. Job, role, permission. Okay, you understand?
Yes.
One thing, one example I will call you. See, you have gone to a flight, no? You have traveled by flight around. Flightல travel பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா?
No, sir.
இல்ல, flightல travel. சரி விட்டுருங்க. சரி ஒரு சின்ன ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் சொல்றேன். See, suppose உங்க friend ஒருத்தர் விழா அல்லது some resort கட்டி வச்சிருக்கிறாரு வச்சுங்களேன். ஓகேங்களா? Your friend is having a resort in that. So, you are telling that you want to go to the resort and share. What you will do, that is the resort will have a, suppose he is having a some security. In order to open that lock and all, security, some form of code and all. What he will do, he will tell you the code. By using that code, you will have to access that. So, and also he will tell, see, you will not be, you don't access second floor, only first floor you have to access. Certain rooms only you have to access. Like that he will be telling. What is that? You to enter into that house, you have to use the code. That is user ID and password by using a security code. That is you validating your credential. Then after that, what is called restriction to using that house. You can use only first floor or ground floor. You should not use second floor. Like that. Correct, no?
Oh.
That is where
Yes,
functional setup, the Oracle Identity Manager and Authorization Policy Manager. And role-based access control, for example, you are going and another person is coming. Another person will be told, no, you can access first floor and second floor. Like that. Or you have to use only second floor. Another person you will be given second floor. That is our role-based access control. Okay, you understand what I am telling? The difference. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now WebLogic server. WebLogic server is what? I will give you a simple definition. See, WebLogic server, where you used HDFC banks or ICICI bank. You are doing net banking, no? You are doing bank application for doing a transaction. Have you done it?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
You are done, na? நீங்க
Yes, sir.
பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? டிரான்சாக்ட் பண்ணிருக்கீங்களா? பேங்க்ல நெட் பேங்கிங் யூஸ் பண்ணி அந்த மாதிரி
பண்ணிருக்கேன் சார்.
பண்ணிருக்கீங்க இல்லையா? என்ன பண்ணுவீங்க? Bank user ID. They bank have given you user ID and password.
Customer ID and password.
Yeah, user ID and password. When you enter that, what happens? First step, what do you do? You log into HDFC Bank. That is the primary. First step, you use a HTTPS www.hdfcbank.com. Then, when you enter that, what happens? One screen will get open, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is the 3-tier architecture. Already, madam told, no? Front end, middleware, and database. See, this,
Database.
when you enter that protocol, that is HTTPS, that protocol, through you are accessing the HDFC Bank site, the www.hsc. Through that protocol, you are accessing the www.hdfc web. Okay, when you access that, what happens? One page will be displayed. That is irrespective of users, irrespective of people who log in or not log in. If they go for using that protocol, if they enter into that www.hdfcbank.com, same screen will appear. It is called static. It won't change. Okay, adu maradu. Okay.
Yes,
Then
sir.
suppose after that you are using the net banking user ID and password. When you enter that, based on your whether you are a platinum customer, like morning madam gave some good example, platinum customer or some type of customer you will be, based on your like that, based on your type of customer, what you will be given an access to use different pages. மாறும் இல்லையா? இப்போ ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் சிம்பிளா சொல்றேன், நீங்க சப்போஸ் லோன் வாங்கியிருக்கீங்க பேங்க்ல, அப்போ அந்த லோன் இதை நீங்க கிளிக் பண்ணா லோன் இது பார்க்கலாம். இப்போ நான் லோன் வாங்கல, ஐ ஹவ் நாட் அவைல் த லோன், தென் ஐ கான் see the லோன் பேஜ். ஏன்னா அதுக்கு எனக்கு ஆக்சஸ் இருக்காது, ஏன்னா லோன் அவைல் பண்ணல. ஸோ டிஃப்ரெண்ட் இது மாறுது இல்லையா, யூசர்ஸ்க்கு டிஃப்ரெண்டா இட் இஸ் getting differently changed. Likewise, so what I am telling, WebLogic server, so that screens are getting differed, no, screens are getting differed. First you enter the web page, when you enter this, that is called front end, that is web page, you are accessing that web page. Then after using your credential, you are entering into netbank your account, where the screen changes, different users screen changes. That is called that middleware, where this WebLogic server plays an important. WebLogic, using that WebLogic server, the WebLogic server is the server on which business logic pages and codes are hosted. That screen is getting changed, you know. For that, they have written a business logic based on business functions. Based on business function.
Business function.
Now I coming to Oracle. What is that? Business logics means business function. Based on the business function, they will write a logic. In IT, they will write a logic, no? In a program, they will write logic. உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், you know, no, saying, ma'am, logic na enna தெரியும் இல்லையா?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell what is logic? You apply a logic, no? Based on that logic, the screen should work like this. If I click this, if I click save, if I click submit,
Yes,
this thing, like that logic you
Like-
are mentioning, no? Suppose this customer
Based
is
on
based on
some condition.
based on some good, correct. Based on some conditions, that screen is behaving differently, changing.
Yes, sir.
How you are using that logic? Based on business functions. You understand, but so the business
Okay, sir.
related function include payable, invoicing, payment, requisitioning. Based on this business logic is you are designed the business logic. That is, it is